Hello everyone, this is Vincent, and today we are going to make a Substance 3D modeler walkthrough. So in front of you, you have the new Substance 3D modeler, the latest version 1.7. Going to create a new scene, and what we are going to do is to sculpt a Wacom pen. Why? Because I made a walkthrough this week. And it was an exercise that I wanted to make to improve my skills, not only with the Substance 3D modeler, because I'm quite fresh with it, but also in 3D modeling in general, because I'm not an expert at all. Of course, I know the basics, etc., but I have a really bad sense of proportions, and I wanted to make a nice and easy project, and the Wacom pen has a great design and at the same time a simple shape, so it was a good way to start. This is not affiliated at all, no sponsorship with Wacom, but I like the design, and the design was simple enough to be reproduced with Modeler. And as you will see, Modeler makes it super easy. This is a 3D sculpting tool that we do have in the Substance 3D collection. And the great thing with it is not only you can sculpt in desktop, but also in VR. To me, I prefer in desktop, and it works pretty well. But also it's based on a technology which is called SDF, which stands for Sign Distance Field, which means that you are sculpting voxels, which also means that you are sculpting volumes and not trying to shape polygons or to give them the shape to give them a volume shape finally. Here you are directly dealing with the volume, which makes a lot of sense in my opinion. So let's start now. So here in front of me, what I have, you would say is a cube, but it's not directly a 3D object cube. It's just the shape of the primitive you are going to use to sculpt. So here, for example, if I hold spacebar and I move this cube, you see that I'm painting this guy like that, and that's how it works. So this is just a shape to start, but you can also use that to kind of stamp this. So I'm going to make sure to do that, to press in single mode. It's not an obligation, but works well this way. And I'm going to change a bit this primitive to get something closer. Oops. Okay, to get something closer to what I want. So cylinder is a great way to start. I'm going to use Control to move that up a bit. Up to the point I have something that makes more or less the size. I'm just looking at the bottom right now. Should make more or less the size of the first part. And at the top, I'm going to move that and give a taper feeling, a taper look to get this kind of cylinder shape. Like that. May not be that big. Okay. Should get close. I don't want to make one-to-one result, but something close enough so it makes sense. I'm going also to adjust here the fillet. So each primitive has options like that. Some of them are common, some of them are specific to primitive. And here I have my body shape. So I'm going to press spacebar. And now this is sculpted. Now I'm going to hold Control and move the primitive down like that. Change the taper to something way smaller. Change also the fillet here to something a bit sharper. I'm going to move that up so it goes above this part. And let's see the size of that. It's not that, seems to be, it's maybe a bit longer, but not too much. And most important, have to exaggerate the fillet a bit more, like that. Okay, seems to be good. Pressing spacebar, and now this once again make a new volume. If you look here, you see that it's just a single volume that I have. This is on a layer, so I am in the select tool, and you can create layer like that. Now what I'm going to do is to adjust a bit to start slicing the different part of it. So getting back here, And to slice, well, I can go to my erase tool. You can press E to do that, and you have like erase or split tools, or also crop tool, but in my case, I want to split. Like, it's a great way to create some slices. So I'm going to move that up a bit, and first of all, I'm going to move that up to this point, more or less, and I'm going to try to start creating a first slice. And you see, there is some jaggy effect here. I'm going to show you on this one. You see, if you want to remove that, you can use a smooth tool, or since the 1.7, there is, when you upscale this, you will see that it removes this. The upscale is really taking in account the shape to make an intelligent one. I'm not doing it right now because I'm going to make some other cuts and I want to upscale just when it's necessary. Keeping that, here we'll have also, there is like a ring here. So I'm going to get back to this guy and we're going to create this ring. So I'm going to change the shape of that and get back to the original shape just by pressing back on this, making a bit bigger. And I'm going to move the top here, which corresponds to that more or less, and the bottom. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Seems to be fine. So making sure I'm on slice, pressing spacebar, and once again have this slice. So if there is a lot of jag here, so I'm just going to make, well, or let's try into two ways, just discovering with you, pressing. If I do upscale right now, it make it clean, so maybe I'm going to do this way. But still, I'm going to make the resolution before. First, you would fix the jag here, and second, I will get a way sharper clean. So once again, I can select that and make the appraise right now. So this one is clean. This one will clean later on. Oops, sorry. I want to make on this one at the moment. Resolution. So it's clean. I have my part. Once again, these jags, we'll see that later on. Now, I really love, by the way, before you had to make like a smooth, which was easy to do, but still, if I can save some time, it's always good. Let's go back to my boy here. And we are going to make some other cuts. But before to do that, there is like a kind of, just a small curve on both here in the, it's really subtle, but it's, I guess, to help your fingers tipping. So I'm going to go to the warp tool here, and the warp, well, it's something that you know you can do. Actually, for this, I'm going to use the the pen and the Wacom, because when I'm in sculpting mode, you can use that. Just let me, okay. Let me switch it on. Switch it on. Is it on? Okay, it's on. So now you can press that. And that's one of the great things with the voxel technology is when I do that, you see how clean it is. I don't have to worry too much about the, oops, sorry, about the resolution. It just works. You can be quite extreme. Once again, why? Because it's creating volume. It's not try to, it does not try to do something else. So let me add some symmetry, radial symmetry, something like 12, for example. And now I can move that, but I'm going to try to be a bit more subtle by diminishing the strength to 10% and for the size to something like that. And I'm just going to try to change a bit the volume here, but not too much. That's something extremely subtle. Maybe even here I'm going to push a bit more, but not that much. It's just something that you perceive here. Okay, so that's okay. I don't want to make more than that. I'm going to get back to my cutting mode. And now where I'm going to cut is there. There is like a part for the grip. So getting from first I'm going to separate that because it's another part. So to separate, just going here and making sure that the top part here is just here. So let me check. Okay, so I just want this part to be out. So going here, spacebar, and now if you look, these are different objects. Now get back to this one. I'm going to move that up. Oops, sorry. Okay. And we're going to adjust that to define the rubber part. You can put that here, it's not a big deal. I just want to slice once again. Split tool. Prefer slice tool, I don't know why. Not that big. Okay, it's like something like that, more or less. Okay, so now I have a new part. And I have I think I made my different cuts, which are great. Like that. This, okay, the cut is neat. This one is nice as well. This one is a rubber, so what I may do, I may go to my warp tool again. So in theory, it keeps the symmetry because it's the same layer. So by tools, you are keeping, by tools and by layer, it's keeping the properties that you define here. And here I'm just going to make a small bump. Because, yeah, that's how I have this feeling that yes, you see it's subtle, but the rubber is like getting a bit over compared to the plastic. And now what I have to do, I want to add the buttons here. There is the buttons, I have the 3D pen, so I have, it's a three button Wacom pen. You may have recognized it anyway because there is not this tip that are on the all 2D ones. To do that, well, slice tool again, but before of that, I'm going to create a new layer with the primitive that will be that I will use to make a Boolean effect. So to make a new layer, well, that's easy. I'm just selecting nothing here and click clay tool. Or if you are on, for example, here, let's say I'm here sculpting, you can do Control N, and now I'm in a new layer. So let's do something like that. And the thing that I want to do to get here, I want to take the square. That may surprise you if you know the reference, but what I'm going to do is go here, remove the symmetry for now, and I'm going to give a shape to this guy. There is something cool, which is the round effect. They say, okay, so this is a cylinder, I'm not interested, but if I'm not right, let me check. You can do something like that. And now it will give you a shape that makes way more sense. But to place it properly, what I'm going to use is a small technique. I'm going to press G, and when you press G, you pass in this kind of mode. So just make sure you don't click, because if you click, you are going to paint, and I don't want to paint from now. I just want to place it. I'm going to place the camera in front of me like that and try to place it this way. And I'm going to press G again, and what it does is that it places it in the same angle that when you were sculpting in the other mode. So these two modes are here. You have local space. No, sorry, where is it? Let me say G. Okay, this one. Surface placement mode or gizmo placement mode. So, but when you pass from one to the other, pressing G, the good thing is that it keeps the alignment, and I like that. So I'm going to adjust this shape. First of all, as you know, it may be hard to adjust. I'm going to exaggerate it for now. Once again, it's not a big deal. That's something to just place the rotation properly. So I'm just doing that. And if you want to be precise, if you stay here, it will be hard. So I'm going to put myself here to adjust and making something right. Seems to be right. Maybe I'm going to move that a bit this way and to adjust again the rotation. Seems more or less okay. So now I'm going to put that up and down. First this is like that. It's like going up to half of it. Like this. This is, oops, sorry. I'm going to take this to make it wider. And the shape is not that important, by the way, because it's just something that I'm going to use to split the tool. So I just want to make sure it crosses the other layer, but I don't need to be that precise once again. Okay, so not that bad. I'm just checking the reference. This may be lower a bit. Once again, I'm checking that seems to be properly aligned. That's fine. And the size is more or less this way, and it's thinner. It's not that thick. So you may ask why don't you use this to make directly the slice here with this tool? It's because the shape is a bit more complex. I'm going first to do this one, like this, and for the 3D button, actually there is another shape at the bottom, which goes more or less like that. Oops. Like that, a bit more maybe. I think it's okay, a bit more. We're going to exaggerate a bit for the example. So now I have the shape that I want to make my Boolean. So I did press spacebar again. So it should be good. See? Yeah. What I'm going to do now is using this shape, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to make sure this object, this layer is selected. And I'm going to right click on it and go to the Boolean actions and use this to split mode. Now it's defined as a splitter, we can say. I'm going to select this one, right click and apply. And now if I take this and I hide it, you see that I have my two different parts separated. And once again, these jags, we are going to fix it later on. Actually, this one I can fix it because I won't touch it anymore. So selecting it, improving the resolution, and look at that. Now it's very clean. The blue part, the blue layer, this one, we are fixing it in a moment. I'm going actually to look at that. So this we can, this one we'll see later on because I have to do something here. And this one, we can do it now, I think. Okay, so clean. This one was clean. Maybe a difference, so we can move that, by the way. Make it a bit bigger. It's really subtle stuff. Okay, so now I have to add the buttons here. So selecting that, going to go to the slice mode, removing. Strange enough, let me check. Okay, fine. Would have preferred the buttons to be placed differently, but that's fine. So first of all, let's go to my erase tool, remove the symmetry. And okay, the shape is good, so we have to place then, so Control G again, sorry, G. So I place myself here and G again, and we're going to adjust all that. That will be easy. So the alignment is great. Just have to make it fit a bit better on the top. Sorry, I have hold control. Maybe a bit on the left, on the bottom. Okay, so fine. Spacebar. We're going to make the second one, which is longer. So let's move that. It starts more or less here. Up to the top. And we can see that it's not properly adjusted here. So we are going to adjust that. And here and there. But you see, it's really a different way to think about sculpting. Personally, it fits great with my brain. My brain is weak. And I think this is good for this one. I'm just checking once again the space here, the space around. So spacebar, and I have my button. And you see I made a mistake for both because I was in erase mode. So let's go back. Okay. This is a new one. And we say here, adjusting here. Adjusting here, and then we have to change the rotation a bit. Seems to be okay. Okay. Now I can double click on this layer here. And we make this resolution thing. This one, sorry, you can stay here. Resolution, and this one. The fact that it really reconstructs properly, that's a lifesaver, honestly. So we have all the part. I think the sculpting, we are great. What I'm going to do here, we are going to take this button and we are going to move it out a bit, like that. I'm going to move it a bit more because actually there is like a small, in the other way around, this one is a bit out compared to the other, like that. And this one as well has to be a bit out, like that. Not too much, but not that bad, huh? For someone who doesn't sculpt. Just what's missing is the tip of the iceberg. No, but the tip of the pen, easy. Have nothing selected, making a new layer. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to press R just to reset completely the setting of the primitive. I'm going to diminish the size, going to move it down. And first thing first, I'm going to go and see this one here, and let's go here because I want to remove some volume. Let me check. Always check the reference. This is small. Okay. I'm going to do this way. I think it's, well, not that bad. And a bit bigger. Like that. And this one is like kind of, there is maybe a sculpt to do to smooth that out. But first of all, I'm going to remove this part inside. And I'm going to use the smooth to make this less sharp. So smooth tool, reducing the size, right click, symmetry, so I do everything at the same time. Sorry, I'm going to do it here. Let me check. Okay, symmetry here. Okay, so it's here, it will be there, but sometimes there is a refresh bug. We don't see the other one, but still it makes all around. And it will be better. And once again, right now that it's sculpted, I'm going to go here, select that. Okay, it's cleaner. Now, new clay tool. Let's move my primitive. Should be okay. No, it's too much outside. Something like that. I'm going to put it a bit more. Press spacebar, so I have my object, and now I'm going, as it's used, I'm going to sculpt a bit, and first I'm going to remove a small part of it. Like, you know, when you are using a lot the Wacom at some point, you got this kind of angle because it's used a lot. Okay, so maybe not much angle, something like that. Okay, like that. And now I'm going to use the warp tool and my Wacom pen. So let's diminish the size of that to move that up a bit. Oh, I'm going to add some strength on that. Okay, I'm just playing with that a bit to, you know, like it's like deformed a bit by, oops, not that much deformed by the sculpting. Just giving something like a bit of a volume. Once again, now right click, resolution, makes it great. I'm just watching the different part for the resolution. This looks great. This looks clean. And this looks clean. Maybe I can go to this one and make another one. Yeah, you see there is difference in resolution, so I'll make sure it's the same. Okay, so for the sculpting part, it would be good. Technically, I could export that, but I'm going to enjoy the moment to showcase that you can add materials within it. Generally, for the fine material tweaking, if I want to add the dirt and some usage and some logos, this is something that I would do in Substance 3D Painter. If you're interested, just tell me to see the Substance 3D Painter part. But for now, I'm going just to apply some materials. What I would do also, in keeping in mind that I would like to work after that in Substance 3D Painter, is I would apply material depending on the texture set I want to create, because you know that Substance Painter will look at the number of materials and divide in different texture sets. So in my case, let me check, I'm just checking. Yeah, the button could have been a bit bigger, but not a big deal. So in my case, what I would have done is just making sure that this part is too big. Whoa. Okay, I would make sure that, for example, I will make this part, and this part, or the plastic part in one material, maybe the rubber part in another one, and the buttons and silver. But that's really up to you, depending on how optimized you want to do things. In that case, it's more product visualization stuff. So I would say I don't care that much about optimization. You always have to care, but I can be more permissive. To create materials, it's here. So you have one by default, which is like this one. But I'm going to create a new one. First of all, just make sure I'm at this level. And the first one I'm going to create for, let's say, all, well, the two this plastic part, which is a bit more rough. The roughness is a bit higher than the other ones. So I'm going to do as if I'm doing everything here. but you understood that that I would split differently. So I make this one apply to selection. So no, this is this one. You can edit the property, change the color, etc. Here you have different kind. On my case, I want to find something almost black, like that. Something that we may change is the IOR, because index of refraction, yes, it exists for non-translucent material, but to stay consistent with the other one, I don't know if we're planning to change that. So I would put 1.5, because it's true that whatever you do, there is a translucent and a refraction on everything. And I would change the roughness to something that is closer to what I get here on my desktop. Something like that is fine. It works pretty decently. Now let's create a new one for this rubber part. So new material, apply to selection. Something that may come is, I hope we'll be able to rename that by double clicking on the desktop version. So new material. Once again, edit properties, and this time maybe 1.4. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a kind of rubber. Color is gray and darker gray. Maybe not as dark as this one, which is black. I never put a pure black because well, purity does not exist in the real world. Okay, so let's find maybe the roughness is a bit longer, like that. Okay, now for these three, this and this, I will use the same. So you can choose the three of them, create a new material, and apply to selection. Edit properties. This is fairly new, the materials, so this will be improved also by the time, but for now it works pretty well. In that case, sorry, this one, almost pure black, and we are going to diminish the roughness so it shines bright like a diamond. You can adjust. Okay, so it's not that bad. Once again, this is something which is extremely clean, good for product visualization, but it's worth a pass in Substance 3D Painter after to add all the fine details. Let's make this one. This one is like a kind of red metallic ring. You get the process right now. Apply to selection. Edit properties, something fun. The color is that when you move the color, if you continue like that, you see that it will repeat. So yeah, why not? So choosing this one a bit darker. Like that, and make sure it looks like metalness. And let's see the roughness. Not pure like that, it's more something like around that. Let me check. Okay, seems to work. Let's create this part now. These are two buttons, so I could reuse one of these, but I could reuse either these or that. But it's a bit in between roughness, so let's create another one. Material 5, edit, apply to selection, edit properties, and let's change the roughness. Plus, there's a refraction, and yeah, honestly, I don't really like the fact that the roughness has an influence, even if it's maybe physically true. Yeah, that's something we may harmonize with the rest of the software. We'll see. Now this one, which is like a kind of silver effect. Apply to selection. Edit properties. So first of all, let's change the color. And second, let's put a metallic effect that you don't see that much because I have to change the roughness to something like that. Okay, well, we have a nice Wacom pencil. Stylus, not that bad. It may be a bit thicker than the original, so it's for big hands. But you see that for maybe, how long did I put on that? 35 minutes while speaking, explaining. This may have to be bigger, I would say. Yeah, maybe it could have been bigger. But still, you get the idea. It's fairly easy. Once again, I'm not an expert in 3D modeling, and Substance 3D Modeler makes it easy and quite instinctive. So if you haven't tried Modeler yet, I am re-inviting you to do so, especially if you are a newcomer in 3D, because it really helps. Once you are done with that, the next step, in my case, I would go into Substance 3D Painter to add logos, and especially to add like usage here. For example, it's too clean. This is too clean. Sorry. So that's some stuff that I would add. And then I would do the render, in my case in Stager, and but you can do it in wherever you want. I hope it was useful. Thanks for watching once again. If you have any question, don't hesitate in the comment or wherever in social networks. And also, if you want to see the Painter part, I can do it. It may be faster, but don't hesitate. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.